Welcome to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, presented by the great folks in Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. Also brought to you by Serdike Yamaha, MoDOT, Buckle Up, Phones Down. Also Hedges Scott Millard Family Chapels and Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake. We are here at Osage, home of the Indians, as Coach Shannon Jolley gets ready for week number 2 of the season. So this week is kind of interrupted a little bit by the holiday, Labor Day weekend. Does that bother your practice schedule or anything like that? Do you have to work around that?
I don't know if it bothers our practice schedule. I think it bothers our parents and administrators more, just because, you know, we have our lower level game, which is a freshman JV game, and we travel to Bolivar, on Monday for Labor Day.
Right.
And that's tough. But, you know, when you try to keep consistency with your schedule, some teams will slide that to Tuesday, and then you're down a day of preparation for the Friday night. Bolivar actually was hosting on Monday at Labor Day. I don't think Labor Day looks the same in Bolivar as it does Lake of the Ozarks.
Right, yeah, a little different.
If we wanted the game, we had to go. So it does change things a little bit, but, you know, it's football season, and, you know, Labor Day people do Labor Day, and we do high school football, so we just make it work.
Yep, absolutely. So you're on the road this week. Last week you opened up at home against a good Bolivar team. This week at Moberly, first road game of the year. Does that first road game make it more difficult trying to get used to all that, or is it just the same?
We took care of that on the Jamboree.
Okay. That's
one of the reasons we like to travel. When we went to Sedalia for the Jamboree, we set up our end zone camera, our headsets, and we do it's kind of a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
So that's a good practice for us. And then, so we're ready to go to Moberly. Not everybody will remember, but, going back to Moberly, a couple years ago when we traveled there, we played poorly. And we had a poor special teams outing, and we just didn't do things very well. So it's kind of been in the back of our minds to travel back up and put a better product on the field at Moberly this year, and it's just something we haven't really forgot about.
I do remember talking to you after that game, and that one was hard on you. I mean, you were a little down that week, obviously bounced back because you guys came on, played really well the rest of the year that year, but I do remember that. Moberly, another one of you guys always play a really tough schedule. Top 5 teams in the state, Blair Oaks, Jeff City last year, and this Moberly team last year was 9-3, and they too went pretty far deep into the playoffs. Are they going to be pretty good again this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got good numbers, and, Coach does a good job up there. It's not always popular, Chris, but like at this stage in my career, I know the value in playing good teams. And if I'm a football fan, and I know everybody doesn't agree, I want to sit in the bleachers and watch 2 good football teams play.
Right.
And that's not a knock on anybody, but I know that in my experience, if you're playing better opponents, you're going to have a better product. And your kids, the expectations are going to rise. Because week in and week out, they know that they're going to have to play, and they don't have any weeks off. So playing Moberly is a nice fit for us. I mean, they do a good job up there of hosting, and we're excited about traveling up there and trying to redeem ourselves from our last visit.
Right, yeah, absolutely, just a couple of years ago. And a lot of people don't know it, but you have the option, the power, when you put together the schedule, of putting some cream puffs on there, a game you know that you're going to win. You choose not to do that and play the tougher teams.
I just don't think you gain anything from it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. If every Friday night all the Osage fans walked out of here after a victory, that would be perfect for me. And it would be like, man, this is awesome, and we want to see our kids win. But at the same time, at the end of the day, we're trying to put the best product on the field week 10, and then to give ourselves a chance to be in the state playoffs. That's the goal, is to win week 10 and be in the state playoffs and then see what happens. And you just don't do that by dodging or setting up a schedule that's a little bit less challenging. It's just not what we do.
All right, so they're at Moberly Friday night, so we'll talk about what Moberly has this year when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
Being close to the water makes you more you. It's where the great unknown brings clarity. And letting go is how you really get going. Because only when you're on a Yamaha Wave Runner do you truly discover what you're made of.
Visit Serdike Yamaha at Lake of the Ozarks, 50 years strong.
At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers pediatrics at 2 lake locations and 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic, offering same-day appointments. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone, whether you live at the lake or just here visiting. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. Here with Osage Indians coach Shannon Jolley on the road this week, week 2, against a really good Moberly program. So traditionally, what does Moberly like to do?
Well, I think they just do a good job overall. I think we talked about a little bit earlier, just, the third phase that a lot of people don't talk about is special teams. They do a good job of being balanced. I know Coach has done a good job of getting his kids excited. His program is growing. You see a lot of things on social media where they put a lot of energy and effort into their football program. And, when you get up north like that, there's not a whole lot of other options of things to do on Friday night. And I know, it's important to them to have a good football team at Moberly. Yeah,
absolutely. That game we talked about in the first half here with you when you were in Moberly 2 years ago, a game you very easily could have, maybe should have won. Special teams blunders kind of took it away from you, and they pulled out the win that year. The Tri-County Conference year in and year out in football is so good. I mean, it's so tough when you've got teams that win state championships like Blair Oaks and whatnot. You like that competition, though. You like being in the Tri-County Conference.
Yeah, especially if we're going to be Class 4. If we're going to come each year and we're going to have to play the Warrensburgs and the Jeff Cities and looking at the Kirksvilles and different schools that size, you want a rigorous schedule. And like I said, there's 2 different philosophies. You can go through, I know there's teams out there that probably win 6 or 7 football games every year.
Right.
And then never get past week 10 or rarely get a week 10 win. And we're just trying to set things up where we can play good football when it gets cold. But again, like I said, Moberly is an outstanding opponent for us, and we had an opportunity to take them off the schedule this year, and we didn't want to because we felt like it was what best for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you've been coaching for a while. It's getting up right around 30 years now, I think, right? As a head coach, what gives you the most joy as a head coach? What do you love about coaching?
I just still think it's the phone calls from way back. And, and I think the kids that I coach now hopefully will still have contact. I spent spring break this spring in Cleveland, Ohio with Brandon Gould, who was our quarterback here 20-some years ago, and got to spend time with him and his son, and him and I are close. And, I mean, there's not a week go by that I don't have phone conversations with 6 to 7 kids just about how things are going and watching them grow and hopefully see the benefits of being involved in our program, kind of materialize in their personal lives. And that's really what it is about. And the other thing is really developing coaches, having our relationship with our coaches and trying to share with them some of the things that were shared with me. So when they get their chance to lead and as they continue to grow, they'll be better prepared.
Wow. That was not the answer I expected. I expected working with the kids in practice or, seeing them turn their lives around. But that is so cool. So a lot of these former players of yours are like your sons in a way.
Yeah, our relationships are different, and we're proud of that. And my wife has, adopted that and understood that with us too. And like I said, that's just you ask me, that's what I like about it. And still being around the sport, but being able to foster those relationships it's everything to me.
That is so cool. All right, Coach Shannon Jolley on the road this week against Moberly. Coming up next, we head over to Camdenton. We'll talk with head coach Par Pitts about what the Lakers have going on this week.
During this chapter of life, we are really taking the time to enjoy the little things.
So it was important to have our final wishes pre-planned so our family wouldn't be burdened later on.
Hedges Scott Millard made it simple, but thorough. They provided us with different options right here in the comfort of our home.
We are so glad that we planned ahead. Now a whole lot more of this, a little of this, all with the peace of mind we wanted.
At Hedges Scott Millard, we believe that every day is a gift, and so is every life. Take time to enjoy it.
It's time for some high school football, season 12 of local high school football on Lake TV. Join William Holtz and Mike Bissell Friday night, August 30th, for the opening game showdown between Osage and Bolivar. Will the Indians be able to get off to a quick start, or will the Liberators play spoiler? Join us for the COMC pregame show at 6:30, kickoff at 7, presented by Polylift Boat Lifts. High school football's opening night, Friday, August 30th, Osage and Bolivar on Lake TV.
Wait just a minute, I'm gonna send Dad a quick text. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, hon, where are you? You should be here by now. I tried calling and texting. Dad's home!
Ma'am, I regret to inform you that Jason was killed in a car crash today.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. As you can see, we have made our way here to Camdenton, home of the Lakers. This is their practice field right here. You do most of your workouts right here, right?
Yeah, we do. We get our speed and our strength training here, and we also get to practice football.
Yeah. I usually think when I think of the Lakers, I think being over at Bob Shore Stadium and doing all that. But just like the NFL and the college teams, you practice on your practice field as a general rule. So this week, we're into September now, and week 2 of the season, it's a Branson, and you guys have changed conferences, so you're getting a whole new schedule, all new schools. This Branson team struggled a little bit last year, but they came on at the end of the season, and they were pretty tough.
Yeah, near the end of the season, they gave Lebanon all that they could handle. It was a super tight game. Both teams played well, so we know that they are on the rise for sure. They're a flex bone team, which is always a challenge to emulate that in practice and then go out there and defend it. And we know they're going to be hard-nosed on defense and have the ability to really get downhill and try to play physical football.
What is a flex bone? Is that kind of like a wishbone but different?
It is. It is a wishbone, and then you take the two halfbacks and move them up to wings, and then they motion different directions to really get into an I set, and then they run option, out of it.
Right.
And they run some different things, but it's a very effective scheme because it's hard to emulate unless you run it.
Yeah, I always wondered why some of the great running teams in college football, like Oklahoma, Nebraska, they were so successful and they went away from it. And they're just not the same, I kind of miss that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's changed. A couple things is the physicality. You don't want your quarterback to get hit as much as they used to in those days. And then the other part of it is I think that the schemes have gotten a little bit more open.
Yeah.
And quarterback play in high school and junior high all the way up is so much better, so you're more willing to put the ball in the air. When I first started coaching, I didn't want to throw it at all, and now we throw it a ton.
Yeah, that was like, who was the great coach that said, the only good thing about throwing a ball, or there's more bad things that can happen about
there's
throwing.
3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, that whole thought has gone away. Have you ever played a game at Branson before, either as a player or a coach?
Never. I've never been to the stadium. I've been there on vacation a couple times, but never been to the stadium. I know it's an outstanding facility. They've got a storied program, so it'll be a fun time.
Do they have a storied program? I didn't know that.
They do. Their coach, probably 8 years ago, is in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And has been a big time program in our state. They haven't won a state championship, but they've been to state championships, I think, and so they're a good program.
So it's so interesting. You guys are moving over into the new conference this year. The old conference was tough, but this new one is really tough. You got teams like Elias, they've won state championships, and several big schools that are in this one, Rockbridge, Hickman, schools like that. And the competition, I think, might even be tougher in the new conference than it was in the old conference.
Yeah, it's going to be competitive every Friday that you go out there and play. A lot of these teams, other than Jefferson City and Hickman, we've played off and on through the years in the playoffs. We've actually played 2 of the teams in the state championship game. In 1977, we played Rockbridge in the state championship, lost 7-6, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then we beat Elias in 99 in the state championship game. And so it's kind of unique that we have 2 state championship game rematches. But even when I was in school, we played Helias.
Yep.
So it's we've only played Jefferson City one time, and that was in 2020. And
I remember that playoff game, I think. And Cap City's really coming on. Played them in the playoffs last year. We're going to talk more about the new conference and the game coming up on Friday night when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. It's hard to believe summer's almost gone and we're starting our Labor Day sale. What's that mean for you? Your best night's sleep ever at a great price. You need to come check out the Stearns & Fosters. We're up to $900 off of adjustable base sets. Tempur-Pedics up to $700 off. And the new purples, come check those out at up to $800 off. You get sale prices and free financing. Don't forget, we deliver the entire lake area. Come see us at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers pediatrics at 2 lake locations and 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic, offering same-day appointments. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone, whether you live at the lake or just here visiting. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. We're here at Camdenton. The Lakers getting ready for a road game against Branson this week. New conference. We were talking a little bit about that before we took the break. Really tough conference in football, certainly. Basketball, too. I think it's even tougher than what the Ozark Conference was before. You have played a lot of these teams in the playoffs at one time or another over the years. Helias, I remember seeing games against Helias, Jeff City a couple years ago. Last year, Cap City. And you mentioned it, year in and year out. This is just really tough. Who, maybe it's more than one, who is the team to beat in this conference? I mean, it might be Camdenton now.
Well, outside of us, for sure. Rockbridge and Helias are 2 teams returning a bunch of talent from last year, and Helias was the conference champions, and they lost in the semifinals, I think, to I can't remember now, but they went to the state championship. And so we know those 2 teams are really loaded as we come through. Cap City brings back lots of talent. They bring back a running back that's, he rushed for 1,900 or more yards last year. And so, and then we have new coaches. Hickman brought back an alumni coach, Coach Conyers, who won a state championship at Battle.
That's right.
And then Jeff City.
Camdenton on the way to the state championship that year.
In 2014.
Yeah.
And then Jeff City brought back an alumni, Eric Thomas, who had won a state championship in 2005. So it's a loaded conference coaching-wise and player-wise.
Yeah. What he's not saying is you also took a team to the state championship before you came to Camdenton as an assistant coach for a while under Jeff Shore, just waiting for your chance to take over the Lakers, I think, right?
Well, yeah, I love the Lakers and want to do everything I can to get us to those moments so we can be talking about playing in the state championship, winning state championships, those things.
No doubt about it. Can you coach chemistry? Sometimes it's not the better talented team that wins, it's the team that plays better together, has that chemistry. Do you coach that? How do you get that?
100%. We try to get our guys in position so that they can, number one, trust each other, number two, be accountable to each other, and really it boils down to loving each other on and off the field so that we can go out there and when things get tough, we come together as opposed to be torn apart. And so we do everything we can to coach that, but it's that individual decision.
That's one thing about high school sports. We're talking football, but it's really any sport. You kind of learning how to deal with life. You're not going to win everything in life. You're not going to win every game. Sometimes it's chemistry that makes things happen and not just talent. And you're trying to teach the kids this while they play football.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's those skills that you're going to use in your job, in your marriage, in parenting, and in all those challenges you face in life. You're going to use stuff that you learn in team sports, in our case, football.
Yeah. Wouldn't you have loved to have had a coach like this? I would have when I was playing. I wasn't very good, so I probably wouldn't have seen the light of day. But there he is, Coach Parr Pitts, as the Lakers get ready to hit the road, play at Branson this week. So that is your COMC High School Football Coaches Show presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, also brought to you by Surdike Yamaha. MoDOT, buckle up, phone down. Head to Scott Millard Family Chapels and Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake.
Don't miss out on your favorite show. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.